Hi guys, welcome back to Nita Crochets. Today we have a very simple pattern. It's this mini fringe granny stripe dress that was inspired by my recent granny stripe romper design, which you're going to watch in that video. I have had the written pattern for both items on my online shops, so you can get them all. Also, the links are going to be in the description box. Now for this tutorial, I'm going to have some clips that were for the tutorial for the romper so that I do not have to re-record most of the things that I had already shared for you guys. Okay, now I am working with my usual yarn. It's Robin. It's 100% acrylic. It's 50 grams, size 2 yarn, so I am doubling my strands because my strand is very thin. And then I have a pair of scissors, very crucial for this tutorial. And lastly, I am working with a 4.5mm hook. Now I have a written pattern for this romper. It's going to be on all my online shops, and the written pattern is going to include sizes small, medium and large, and adjustments for other sizes. Then in this tutorial, I'm just going to take you through how to make a size small, and I will leave you with the adjustments for sizes medium and large so that we don't make the tutorial lengthy. Also, it's going to have 2 parts, so please don't be lazy to watch part 2 when you watch part 1. Alright then, to start our tutorial, we are going to make a slip knot and we are going to chain 27. Now the number of chains that we start with is constant. No adjustments have to be needed, because if you make any adjustments, make it longer or shorter, you're going to ruin the whole entire design. Alright, so make 27 chains. Alright, and once you have all 27 chains, we are going to get into the second chain stitch from the hook and work a single crochet. Then we shall work 1 single crochet into every chain stitch all the way until the end of the row. So you should have a total of 26 stitches once you come to the end of your row. So I'm going to meet you there and then show you what to do. We are here at the end of our row. This is how my work looks like. Now once you come to the end of your row like this, you are going to chain 3, and now we are going to turn onto the opposite side of our foundation chains, because now we are going to be working on that side. Okay, so you get into that very first stitch right there, just right at the knot, and get in there and work a single crochet. Please don't skip a stitch, because this very first stitch confuses you and you think it's a knot, but it's a stitch. So you get in there and work a single crochet, then start working 1 single crochet into every stitch on the opposite side of our foundation chains until you come to the end of your row. So you need to make sure that by the end of your row you have 26 stitches, just like you had on the opposite side. So I'm going to let you work your single crochets on the opposite side until the end of the row. Then I'm going to meet you at the end of the row and show you what to do. Now once you come to the end of your row, just like this, what you will do is you will chain 3, okay, then work a slip stitch into the very first chain stitch that started the row right there, like that. So that means at both the top of our this, I don't know what to call it, yes, that we have those loops, chain 3 loops or gaps that we have. Okay, so to start our very first row, our first row of the granny stripe, we are going to chain 3, which acts as a double crochet stitch. Turn your work into that chain 3 gap that we just worked recently. You are going to work 2 double crochets, then chain 1, work 3 double crochets, all in this very same chain 3 gap. Okay, there we go. And then chain 1, work 3 double crochets once again. Okay, you see that? Chain 1, work 3 double crochets once again into this very same chain gap. Okay, so you yarn over and get in there once again and work 3 double crochets. So we have about 4 sets of 3 double crochets all in this very same chain 3 space. Okay, there is that next one, right, that and the other one. So now we are going to just pull your work a bit so that you can see your stitches and not miss any. So skip 2, 1, 2, and then into that third stitch right there, you are going to work 3 double crochets all in that very same stitch, just like that. And then you will skip 2, get into that next stitch. Guys, I'm working from outside, so I don't know if this insect is flying back. So we are going to work 3 double crochets all in that very same stitch as well. Skip 2 and work 3 double crochets into that next stitch. So you are just going to keep doing this. You're going to keep skipping 2 stitches and working 3 double crochets into the next stitch, and you're going to repeat this until you have 2 stitches left to the end of the row on this side. Okay, so let me just let you run this all the way up until you have 2 stitches left to the chain 3 space that we have on the other side. Then I'll show you what to do. So like you can see, I am almost at the end of the row and I have 2 stitches left. You see them to that chain 3 space. So I'm going to skip them and get into that chain 3 space at the top, and I'm going to work 3 double crochets all in that very same chain 3 space, like that. Then chain 1, work 3 double crochets once again in that very same chain 3 space, like that. Chain 1, work 3 double crochets once again in that very same chain 3 space, just like that. You see that? All right, then now we have that, and we chain 1. So after we chain 1, we are going to yarn over and skip 2 stitches, then get into that stitch right there and work 3 double crochets. Please don't confuse the stitches you have to skip. Make sure you have to skip 2 stitches, because if you don't, you will find that you made a mistake at the end of the row. So yeah, skip 2 and get into that next stitch, work 3 double crochets all in that very same stitch. Okay, just like that, and then skip 2, work 3 double crochets into the next stitch. So you're just going to keep skipping 2, working 3 double crochets into the next stitch until you have 2 stitches to end the row. Okay, until you have 2 stitches to end the row. That's where I'm going to meet you and show you what to do. So here we are. I'm working my last set of 3 double crochets, just like that. So once you are here and you have 2 stitches left, you will chain 1 and get into the third chain stitch of the 3 chains that started the row and work a slip stitch. Once you have finished working your row, you're going to cut your yarn, because now for me I want to change the color of yarn I'm going to use. But this is how my work looks like so far. On this side I have 4 sets of 3 double crochet, and on this side I have 3 sets of 3 double crochet. So the side where we have 3 sets of 3 double crochet is going to be the bottom, which is more of triangular, and then the side where we have 4 sets of 3 double crochet is going to be the upper side, which is more of like a trapezium. So this is how we join our yarn. You just get your new yarn and have it make a knot onto the previous yarn, and then get the yarn end of the previous yarn and wrap it around the new yarn to make a knot just like that, and then pull it to secure your end. Then pull all ends to make sure that everything is secure, and once everything is fully secure, you're going to get your scissors and cut your yarn ends off right closest to the knot, just like that. So that means we leave no peeping ends, right, like that. So that's how you're going to work this magic knot to change the color of yarn that you want to use. I'm not going to repeat doing this anymore. I hope you guys have learned how to, you know, attach new yarn and leave no peeping yarn ends. So we are going to chain 3 and turn our work into that very first chain 1 space. We are going to work 2 double crochet, sorry, because the 3 chains acts as a double crochet stitch. Then here we are going to skip 2, work 3 double crochets into the next stitch. I'm going to say stitch, but I am working into the gap of the 3rd stitch, right there. So you skip 2 and work 3 double crochet into the next stitch, just like that. And this is what you are going to do all the way until you get to the chain 1 space. Okay, so you're going to work there, right there, there, and there. All right, so that's where I'm going to meet you guys and show you what to do. Here we are. I have 8 sets of 3 double crochets, as you can see. Okay, and you should have the same because we are keeping the same number of stitches until further notice. So yes, this is how it looks like. Now into this, remember this was a chain 1 space and this and that. Okay, so into that chain 1 space right there, I'm going to work 3 double crochets. So basically I am skipping 3 and working into the chain 1 space. The 3 is the 3 double crochets, and the chain 1 space is that chain 1 that we worked previously. So yes, you work 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets once again, all in this very same chain 1 space. All right, just like that. See that? So this is going to be a corner. Then you're going to yarn over, skip 3, get into that chain 1 space right there and work 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. So we have 3, then you chain 1, okay, work 3 double crochets once again into that very same chain 1 space. So this also is going to be a corner. Remember I told you the top of our work is going to have 4 corners and the bottom of our work is going to have 3 corners. See that? So those are 2 corners so far. And skip 3, get into that next chain 1 space right there and work 3 double crochets, just like that. Chain 1, 3 double crochets once again, all in that very same stitch. So this is also a corner. Okay, that's how it looks like, right? So I'm just counting to make sure, because they literally confuse you before you get to knowing which is which side is which. Now here I am going to skip the next 2 stitches and work 3 double crochets into that next stitch, or the gap of the next stitch right there. Okay, and then I'm going to skip 2, work 3 double crochets into that next gap right there. So on this side I have 3 corners, so that means where I am headed is where I'm going to work the 4 corners, right? And then I'm going to let you guys just keep skipping 2 and working 3 double crochets into that next stitch until you have 8 sets of 3 double crochets, just like we had on the opposite side before we started working our corners. So let me just let you guys go all the way up until you have 8 sets of 3 double crochets. That's where I'm going to meet you and then show you what to do. Right? So here I went all the way up like I told you guys, and I was just now trying to count and see whether my sets of double crochets mark the sets of double crochets on this side. So this is how it looks like after the 8 sets of 3 double crochets. Now what we do here is we are going to skip 3 and into that chain 1 space, because there was a chain 1 space right there. So in there we are going to work 3 double crochets, just like that, chain 1, 3 double crochets, all in this very same chain 1 space. Okay, and then we are going to now skip, as you can see this is a corner, so we are going to skip the next 3 stitches and get into the chain 1 space right there. We work 3 double crochets, chain 1, like that, and work 3 double crochets once again, all in this very same stitch. Just like that. Okay, now we are going to skip 3, get into that next chain 1 space right there and work 3 double crochets. So you see we have 2 corners worked so far, and I told you this side has to have 4 corners. So we work our 3 double crochets into this chain 1 space, chain 1, work 3 double crochets once again into this very same chain 1 space, okay, and then we yarn over, skip the next 3 stitches, get in there and work 3 double crochets, chain 1, okay, work 3 double crochets once again, all in this very same chain 1 space. So we now have 4 corners, and what we do next is we just skip the next 2 stitches and then work a slip stitch into the 3rd chain stitch of the 3 chains that started the row. So that's how you end your row, and this is how your work should look like. Now we are starting to get the hang of it. We are starting to get the shape that we want for our romper. We are starting to literally, you know, have everything right into place the way it has to, and this will make our work easier. So here you'll cut your yarn if you need to change your yarn, and then I'm going to get back to show you how to work the next row. You all already know how to attach your yarns, so I'm not repeating that again. Now at this point we are going to chain 3 and turn our work, yarn over, work 2 double crochets into that very first stitch. Remember the 3 chains act as a double crochet stitch. Now we are going to skip the next 3 stitches and get into that chain 1 space right there at the corner and work 3 double crochets, just like that. Then then chain 1, work 3 double crochets once again, all in that very same chain 1 space, just like that. Okay, so you see that I am keeping the corners, like keep the corners, all right? skip 3 and work 3 double crochets into the next space right there. Skip 3, work 3 double into that chain 1 space. Okay, you work 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, all in that very same chain 1 space. Now the chain 1 spaces are the corners. So when you get into the chain 1 spaces of each corner, you're going to work 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, all in that very same chain 1 space, because we still want to keep our corner. Okay, once you have that complete, you are now going to work you're going to skip those 3 stitches and get into that gap. You're skipping 2 and working 3 double crochets into that gap or into that 3rd stitch right there. So you work your 3 double crochets, and then you will skip 3, get into the chain 1 space of that corner and work 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. So the number of sets of double crochets in between each corner are going to vary and go up. Like as for now, we have 1 set of 3 double crochets before the next corner. Okay, so on the next row you're going to find that we have 2 sets of 3 double crochets in between every corner. Okay, so right here, as you can see, I have to work in between this corner and the next corner, so I work 3 double crochets in there. This is what I said. So on the next row you're going to find we have to work 2 sets of 3 double crochet, then the next we have 3 sets of 3 double crochet. But just make sure that once you get to the chain 1 space of the corner, you work 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, all in that very same chain 1 space. So in there, like you can see, it's a corner, so we work 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. I am trying to explain this vividly as I can, so that if I leave you to work the next rows on your own, it is simpler for you guys to do it, because I can't work all the rows with you guys. This is already a lengthy tutorial. It's having part 2, so So here we skip 2 and work 3 double crochets into that next stitch, just like that, because this is not a corner. Skip 2, work 3 double crochets in there because this is not a corner, and this is what I do until I get to the next corner. So you're going to keep skipping 2, working 3 double crochets into the next stitch until you get to the next corner. Okay, so this you're going to do until right here, right there before that corner. So let me meet you guys there, then show you what to do. And then here it is. Okay, this is how it looks like, right? Now at this point I'm just going to skip 3 and get into the chain 1 space and work 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, all in this very same chain 1 space, because this is a corner. So you chain 1 and work 3 double crochets once again in that very same chain 1 space. Once you have that, you are now going to skip those 2 stitches and work 3 double crochets into that next stitch. Okay, then since we are now at the next corner, we shall just skip 3, get into that chain 1 space and work 3 double crochets. Guys, I'm going to let you work the next row on your own, sadly, because this is getting lengthy. So 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, all in this very same chain 1 space. All right, there we go. And then skip 2, work 3 double crochets into that next stitch, just like that. Then now we are at the corner, so we skip 3, get into the chain 1 space and work 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, all in this very same stitch. Okay, now once we have our corners, because now our corners are complete, like I said, the bottom has 3 corners, the top has 4 corners, so our corners are complete. So what's left to do is skipping 2 and working 3 double crochets into that next stitch right there. Okay, skip 2, work 3 double crochets into that next stitch. So you do that right there, right there, right there, right there, right there, until right there, and then you skip 2 and work a slip stitch into the 3rd chain stitch right there. That's how you end your row. Now this is how your work should look like after you have ended your row. Now guys, I'm going to let you guys work the rest of the rows on your own, because now you have the shape of it. But I just want you guys to keep in mind that once you get to the chain 1 spaces of the corners, you are just going to keep working 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, so that you keep all the corners, 3 corners at the bottom and 4 corners at the top. Okay, right? So in there you just keep working 3 double crochets into those gaps until the corner, which I said is you work 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. Then in there you just work 3 double crochets, 3 double crochets until you get to the next corner. And this is what you repeatedly do until it goes wider and wider and wider and wider, until the number of rows I'm going to show you that I worked for mine. Okay, so just make sure you keep your corners. So let me meet you once I have mine, wider than this. From where I left you guys, I worked 7 extra rows, which made it a total of 10 rows of the granny stripe. Okay, and this is how it looks like, because I left you at the gray color, and then now I have the purple, brown, blue, red, white, gray, and purple. All right, so I worked 7 rows, and this is how my work looks like. You can see this is the top, which has 4 corners, 2 at the top and 2 on the sides. Then the bottom has 3 corners right here. Like you can see, I just kept maintaining my corners, and this is how your work should look like. Okay, so what's left is I'm going to show you how to work your back piece, because for me, oh no, before I show you how to work this, now sizes small, this is just your perfect fit, and sizes medium and large, I'm just going to show you adjustments. This is where our straps for the halter neck are going to go, and this is more like our bust area. Okay, so for sizes medium and large, what we need to do is we need an increment around the bust area and the waist and hip area. Okay, so for that we are going to be working all the way until that corner. Okay, from the same corner on the opposite side and all the way to that corner. That's what we are required to do, because if we go wider at the halter neck, okay, at the top of our work, which is the 2 corners I showed you at the top, if we go wider, our top, the neckline is going to sag in because it is too wide. Okay, so to keep the neckline just in shape but also have great coverage for our bust and waist and hips, we start from this corner right here. Okay, where I have inserted my hook. Okay, so I am going to get my yarn. Okay, remember that you have cut your yarn from where you stopped, like you can see on the sides where I ended my row. And now I am going to get my yarn and pull through a loop, then work 3 chains. The 3 chains act as a double crochet stitch. This is an adjustment for sizes medium and large. If your size small, please do not get onto this unless you have a bigger bust. But yes, we get in there and work 2 double crochets, then we shall skip 2 and work 3 double crochets into the next stitch. Yeah, just like that. Skip 2 and work 3 double crochets into the next stitch, just like that. So guys, here you are, okay, you see that? Here you are literally just working the very same thing, skipping 2, working 3 double crochets into the next stitch, and you're going to do this all the way until right here before our corner. So that's why I'm going to meet you guys right there, show you what to do. So as you all can see, I am right there. You see that? I'm right there at the corner. So what I am going to do is I am going to get my hook and skip those next 3 stitches, then work into the chain 1 space at the corner, and in there I am going to work 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, all in that very same stitch, just like that. Okay, just like that. So here we shall yarn over and skip 2, work 3 double crochets into that next stitch, okay, skip 2, work 3 double crochets in the next stitch. So this is just what we are, doing like we did previously until we get to the next corner. So you're just going to do this until the corner right there. Let me just show you guys what to do so that yeah. So what you're going to do is you're going to run this until right here at the corner. When you get here, you work 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, then you work your sets of 3 double crochets, get to the next corner, do the very same thing, then go all the way until that corner, and in there you just work 3 double crochets just like you did on the other side. So that's where you stop. Okay, so let me let you guys work this row until right there where I have told you, right there, just to enlarge our bust coverage. And I'm going to meet you there to show you how to work the next row. So this is it. This is it. You can see that this is the bottom where I have 3 corners, and then to the top, this is how it looks like. Those 2 corners are not worked because, like I said, we just need to widen our bust, waist and hip area, but we don't have to widen our halter neck, like the neckline. Okay, so size is medium. If you feel like this is just enough coverage for you, you can end here, but just to show you how to work the next row, if you're still going wider, you will chain I know that if we just work this second row of this extension, sizes medium will have great coverage. Then sizes large, you are just going to pick the knowledge I have shared for these 2 rows to keep going for the next 2 rows. So for you, the extension, you may need about 4 to 6 rows. Okay, so for this row, what you do is you chain 4, 3 of the chains act as a double crochet stitch, and then here you will skip the next 2 stitches and work 3 double crochets into the next stitch, then skip 2, work 3 double crochets into the next stitch, or you skip when you're starting the row, you skip 1 and work 3 double crochets into the next stitch. Then after that, you start skipping 2 and working 3 double crochets into the next stitch. So this you do until you get to the corner at the bottom, and once at the corner, you guys know what to do is you work 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, all in that very same chain 1 space. Okay, so you do this all the way until the corner right there. Work your corner, then continue with the sets of 3 double crochets to the next corner and the next corner, then go all the way up. When you get right here, after you work your 3 double crochets, you'll just chain 1 and skip 1 and work a last double crochet into that very last, into the 3rd chain stitch of the 3 chains that started the previous row, just like you did. So for sizes large, you're just going to copy and paste what we have done for these 2 rows, and paste it, and for the next maybe 4 rows until you have the coverage that you need. Okay, so what's left for me, guys, is to show you how to work this back part. Okay, so let's get started. Now to start our back part, we are going to make a slip knot, and we are going to chain 10. Like I said, the number of foundation chains or stitches that we start with is constant. There is no adjustment for that. The moment you make any adjustments, guys, you're going to lose it. Okay, so just work 10 chains, and once you have all 10 chains, you are now going to get into the 2nd chain stitch from the hook, and in there you are going to work a single crochet. So yes, you get into the 2nd chain stitch from the hook and work a single crochet. Then you will work 1 single crochet into every stitch all the way until the end of the row. You should have a total of 9 stitches. Okay, so work this all the way until the end of the row, and let me meet you guys there, then show you what to do. Yes, here we are at the end of our row. So once you have that, you're now going to chain 3 and then turn your work, get onto the opposite side of our foundation chains, and into that very first stitch you're going to work a single crochet. Then you'll continue working 1 single crochet into every stitch on the opposite side of your foundation chains until you have 9 stitches in total. Okay, and I'm going to meet you there. I'm going to meet you there, then show you how to work the next row. Make sure you have 9 stitches on this opposite side as well. I am at the end of my row. This is how my work looks like. Now to start my next row, I am going to pull my loop, insert my hook into the loop, and I'm going to chain 3. These 3 chains act as a double crochet stitch, so into that very first stitch I'm going to work 2 double crochets, and I'll skip 2, get into that next stitch and work 3 double crochets, just like that. Then I will skip 2, get into the next stitch and work 3 double crochets, just like that. So once we have that, we are now going to skip those 2 and get into the chain 3 space right there, then work 3 double crochets. Now this is where our 3 corners are going to go. So we will chain 1, work 3 double crochets once again into this very same chain 3 space. Okay, chain 1, work 3 double crochets once again into this very same chain 3 space. Just like that. Okay, see what we have.